for me, this is always just like kind of a sync call, kind of little updates and, quash any blockers. Love to just get an overview of the design and probably the back end and front end progress and see if there's anything that we want to make sure to assign and or change course on anything before it gets out of hand. So that's kind of my main intention for this call is probably to just look at the designs for the bonding curve and give some feedback. And I'll pass to Marco. Any intentions, distractions? I have no distractions.
Yeah, same intentions as you. Look at the bonding curve, maybe clarify one comment that Mitch you made yesterday. And yeah, that's basically it. Distractions, none so far, all good. And I pass it over to Mitch.
Yeah, I'd love to see what those Brazilians have been working on. I haven't seen much action on the GitHub repo, so I'd love to see an update and answer any questions like that Marco might have or anyone else. And I'll pass it to Chewy.
Thanks, Mitch. My intentions is to quickly check, at least on the first part of the Params campaign, just to make sure that everything is accurate and we're good to go. And distractions, I have no distractions. Yeah, it's, and I'll pass it to Lauren.
Yeah, my intentions are just to sync up and also to maybe get feedback, like she was saying, on this like Param's tweet thread. And my distraction is that I'm gonna make a smoothie and that my pipes are putting gross things in the water again. But I'll pass it to Katie.
Hey everybody. Wow. It's great to be here. So my intentions are to catch up, but also to just make sure that my little write-up that I'll be doing later for the blog on the dashboard is good to go, that I'm getting the right info for that. And distractions, I'm okay. There's a few children running around with no school at the moment, but I'm here. And I'll pass to Nick.
My intention is to learn as much as I can about this working group, so that I may contribute in the future and also point people towards this working group when onboarding. Distractions, thinking about a couple of projects while listening to this call. I pass to September.
Thank you, Nick. Yeah, my intentions is to keep in the loop. I know Parameters is going super fast, so I absorb all the knowledge I can, and yeah. And distraction, I mean, I'm fasting. After this call, I'll be 24 hours fasting. So I really want this smoothie from Lauren, but yeah, I'll pass it to Griff.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I guess that's everyone. Cool. Well, let's start with the show and tell from the design. Marco, do you want to show off the latest?
Just give me just 1 second, please.
Sure. If you want, I can pass it to someone else too if you need.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I just want to share my screen, and then it's gonna be in about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and share your screen. And going live. All right, go.
Come on, Figma. It's a beast of a Figma file, though. I understand. Oh no, Marco's frozen.
I think it crashed him.
Yeah,
Figma was too strong.
That Figma file is real strong. Well, let's go to Katie's blog actually. While Marco's coming up, sorry, Katie, did you wanted to ask a question about the blog post?
Oh, I don't really have a question, but I figured that I was gonna include just a little section on the dashboard and Yeah, so actually I'm kind of here as something in particular you wanted to tell me to share, then I can do that. Like, include the link to the dashboard itself, but if there's anything in particular, sort of meaty to put in there, you can tell me what to put.
Yeah, I mean, I
Demo.
think that I definitely think that the demo link and the issues, and just say,
Okay.
if you have any issues, check here. And, probably just like pushing people to proofread the learning section. The more eyes on that, there's a lot of text there. The more eyes on that, the better. And if there's anything they don't understand, maybe even make an issue if they don't understand something, or make a comment in the Params Discord if they don't understand something that needs to be clearer. Because it's a lot of, the best we can do with that section is really get people who don't understand it to read it and tell us what they don't understand. Because we understand it, so what the hell do we know? We suck at that.
Yeah, I just want to add that there's still a few components missing from the front end that would make the learning part complete. Like it's missing some of the buttons to be able to scroll through the different sections easily, and it's missing like the header component at the top to be able. So I'd maybe look at it, Griff, and it might be missing a bit of polish though, in my opinion, to get like that mass testing going.
Okay.
We could maybe Vitor's got something else to say about that, but I just noticed that when I was running it on my machine. Or on the net if I build.
Yeah. Sorry guys, I was cooking and I lost track of time. And yeah, like regarding that, the idea was like to launch it, this version of the intro learning and the like token lockup and the tau voting, like in a way that was functional, but there are a lot of like little things that or like front end dev team is still working on. So like there are little things that like takes more time to polish, but then like we're prioritizing the other like functional parts. But then like after they all like are working, and then you like the goal is to first like be able to create all the parameters, and once we can do this with all of them, then like we will focus on these like little things. But we're aware of it and like working on it, and like we have GitHub issues in which you can track as well, like which ones are being tackled or not, like regarding these polishment in the front end. But we're quite aware of it.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want like the whole process to get bogged down by a million issues, of like missing tooltips or broken links or whatever, or stuff that should be fixed, but it's just like the front end team just hasn't got around to building them yet.
But the text is like, as far as we're concerned, polished, right?
I think so. I'm gonna look through that learn module again. I think the text is done, but like there's some context things like all the links and whatnot in there that, people should be clicking if they don't understand stuff. And tooltips, Tooltips go like a long way for driving a lot of this stuff home. So
true.
And just regarding the planning as well, like we have like we'll have at the end like 1 or 2 weeks spare of planning, because we're pretty good in schedule. So probably like when you have every functionality for all of them, then we'll go back and can do like a big review to like get sure that everything is perfect. But like right now we're developing more the like core components that take more time. But then like after we have it, to change and fix little things will be like quite fast.
So maybe Suga, I would just recommend people focus on the text. Warn them, of what Vitor and Mitch just said. There's a lot of bugs. We know it's there, but we're focusing on the core components and releasing this early so you guys can play and have fun. But don't bother making issues about things that are broken. Just tell us about the text. And if there's something in the text, there will be tooltips and it will be better. But if there's a sentence that doesn't make sense, typos, or also just like, things that might need to be a tooltip, we might not know, So I do think the text is ready to be reviewed. Oh no! Can you guys still hear me? Look, everyone looks frozen.
Yeah. No, we can hear you.
We hear you well.
We're just captivated, just staring straight.
Yeah. He dropped. I don't know, while we're waiting for Griff to come back, do you have anything you want to show, Vitor?
Yeah, like I don't have anything specific to show off like regarding the front end, but what I can say is that tomorrow me, Pedro, and Fabio will have another like crazy full day hack session in my house. So
Awesome.
you can expect nice things for tomorrow, especially regarding the conviction voting section. So and the output issue, but like mainly the conviction voting. So yeah. But other than that, I don't have like many big things to show off.
Okay.
I do have a question, actually. You just reminded me about the change of the name, and there was some confusion about the DAO, or I don't know how you're pronouncing it, like the DAO. Is that disputable? Mm-hmm.
Tau voting, TAO, was disputable voting.
Disputable, gotcha.
And disputable conviction voting, we just dropped the disputable, so now it's just simply conviction voting. We had disputable conviction voting and then disputable voting.
Yep, got it.
So disputable conviction voting is just conviction voting.
Got it.
We just got rid of the disputable.
And some confusion. Okay, so then the disputable voting is you're saying Tau?
Yeah, Tau voting.
Okay, thank you. Because Tao is, in like Chinese, in religion, Buddhism, it's Tao. You say Tao. So I didn't know if it's like a plan.
That's just me mispronouncing it then.
Oh, but it's the same thing?
Same
like
thing.
Lao Tzu, Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, I won't hold anybody up, but I'd like to know why that name change happened. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'll screenshot the thread. It was a whole different thing because, anyway, we got there. That's the name.
But it's Dao is the funny thing.
Yeah, but then we say Dao, it's like, with a D, Yeah.
I think it's funny, but it's also like applicable because it's like the voting that would change the Dao.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it also represents like harmony. Dao stands for harmony and going with the flow, in fact. So.
Yeah.
This is part of the reasons why we named it that.
Yeah. There's a lot of rejects and debate to get us there, but yeah.
Hey Mitch, so now that we're getting like some of this confusion out of the way, so Celeste would be working under conviction voting, right? Or would it be part of DAO voting?
Yeah, and we've been working with OneHive a lot to like sync up on these naming things. So, we didn't just unilaterally decide as the TEC to rename it. It's gonna trickle over into OneHive as well, into their applications.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I guess if that answers your question, Katie, maybe Lauren, did you have questions, or Chewy, about this tweets?
Yeah, totally. I mean, maybe. So there were. Okay, I need to open it actually first. Do you have something already to start, Chewy, or that can take a minute?
Yeah, let me share my screen and we can start reviewing that. I don't want to take a lot of time, so let's maybe like quickly go through part one, and this will help us kind of like get a general sense of where we're going. So we're gonna start with today. We're gonna be tweeting and putting out the what's new. Or what goes after the hatch, and this campaign is going to be like our conclusion for it. So we're going to call the campaign Params September, and it's going to be like one parameter per day with a supporting graphic. So as some of you have worked really hard in helping us get this the right way. this is what we wanted to share. So the first one is going to be DAO voting, or DAO voting. Is going to go out tomorrow, and it goes like this. It's after the Commons upgrade, DAO voting, formerly disputable voting, will be the voting process used to make changes to the governance and economic systems of the DAO. Curious about its new voting mechanics, and this is like the link that we're adding. And then we're gonna add like a second tweet as part of the thread that is gonna say, keep reading over the next few days to learn about its parameters. So on Thursday, we're gonna go with DAO voting minimum quorum. There was like pretty much like no like doubt about these. The only one that we had some concern about was this one, a quiet ending period and quiet ending extension. Ivy still had like some questions, so I just wanted to read that out loud and see if it makes sense for everyone here. And it's if the outcome of a vote changes from yes to no during the quiet ending period, additional voting time, the quiet ending extension, is added to the vote duration. This ensures that if a vote is contentious, there is enough time to get accurate voter input. It also acts as a safeguard against last-minute attempts to flip the vote. Would everyone agree that this is like this is accurate and like this is like understandable for like first approaches?
Yeah. Go ahead, Mitch.
I was just gonna say maybe that one point, enough time to get accurate voter input. Like I would say maybe to maximize or something, because they can't change their vote once they voted, but we're adding more time to allow more people to vote.
Maybe you could just change it to like sufficient.
I would say maximize. I like maximize. Because really the point is to allow people who hadn't voted to vote. So you could say
enough time to maximize voter input.
Yeah, or even voter outreach. Or,
anyway, that's my only point there. But then the rest of it looks pretty accurate.
Okay, perfect. And also, I think there was well, yeah, that I would say like pretty much is everything is pretty much ready for the first part of it. I was like a little bit against like the DYK format, but I don't know if this like it just like felt right for some of these. What's your idea of this? Like, do you think like my concern was to be like presenting more like reassuring information instead of like I just find the DYK format like a little bit like out there, but maybe it's just me, maybe it's a language barrier. Does everyone here think that it works for vote duration and delegated voting period?
I don't think for all of them, like maybe it's a wording thing, but sometimes it seems like a bit of a stretch to add the do you know.
Okay, so
but I don't have any like specific opinion on it, no.
So maybe we could like get rid of that intro and just go straight to TEC holders are allowed to vote on a proposal only within the said vote duration, and get rid of this also. Like,
yeah,
does this still make sense?
Mm-hmm. More room for hashtags.
Great point. Hashtag all over the place.
Okay, so as I said, like I don't want to take like a lot of time of this meeting, so I wanted to try this out. Maybe for next week we can review part 2, which we still had some doubts about. But I think we're good to go for part 1. And also, Katie, this might be very useful for the blog post. However, we're let me look for just like a more efficient way, because as I said, like we're adding supporting graphics for each of these tweets so that people can go to the media section on Twitter and just like go straight to the graphics with the explanation. But I'll try to find a way in which like it's just better organized and makes more sense in the blog post. So yeah, thanks everyone also for all your help with this.
I have one comment there, Chewy. Just going by some stuff that Griff was saying is that Griff, you really wanted to let people know about like the token freeze and token thaw, because that's something really important they're gonna have to understand about the dynamics of coming from the hatch. And so I'm wondering if that should come out before some of these other ones.
Okay, yeah, that's a great point.
Because Griff's big thing is that he wanted to get that piece out first, so people were playing with and understanding that their tokens are going to be vested. So it would probably be more worthwhile to have that sooner in the month rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, that was especially true during the hatch. I was really trying to get it out during the hatch, that concept, because it's like important for them to know that they're not going to get liquid tokens for a while when they're putting money in, right? But they also get to choose the price. But I wouldn't say to totally restructure everything. I mean, if it's easy, then sure. But if you're like still had some questions there and you just want to push forward, I'm not so worried about it right now.
I mean,
I guess it's too late.
Like, I mean, it doesn't strictly fall under augmented bonding curve category, right? Like it could.
No, it's its own category.
Okay, so maybe we could go with DAO voting first, and then for the second day we can go with token freeze, token thaw. Okay.
Sure.
I'll make
so
this
wait,
adjustment.
Are you doing all of these tweets in one day?
No, it's like one parameter per day. Like here's the first one for September 1st, and then this is like the second day what's suggested for minimum quorum. But this is what we're gonna change. Like we're gonna delay minimum quorum for a day and just start with token freeze and token thaw. It's like what happens to your tech tokens.
Cool. That's cool. Okay. This is amazing. Who helped work on this? This is
Lauren,
beautiful.
Mitch, and Ivy were heroes with reviewing this. So yeah, big praise to you. Okay, so I guess that's it for me, and I'll pass it. Oh, Marco is here now, so maybe you can work it out. But thanks everybody for your help.
And also, sorry for breaking up on you guys, but Vitor, did you have any agenda topics for this call?
No, yeah, I'm not sure if you were here yet. That I was saying that like we have the. No, I was just like following up like the next days of the dev team. Like we're gonna have other like day-long hack session tomorrow in my house, so we'll do the conviction voting, and yeah, you can expect nice things at the end of the day tomorrow, or like Thursday because of different time zones. But yeah, that's it. So probably like by the end of tomorrow, we'll have like a first version of interactable conviction voting section. So we can add this to user testing as well, but knowing that like there are a few things that need to be like that will still be improved by the front end team. Then yeah, after that like we can probably show this in the community call like for next Thursday, and then we can focus on the ABC for for next week, and then the end we'll do the other the other week we'll have the kind of like issue creation and like stats dashboard. Stats page, and then after that we can have like 1 or 2 weeks to like pass through everything again and get sure that everything is awesome. And that's it. I don't have many things to show off. Like actually I don't have anything specific to show off today, but tomorrow or Thursday I'll have to. That's it.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. And there's nothing that you need from anybody specifically while we're here that you want to discuss?
No, I think it's good. I think the design is good, and I think like everything is set up. I think after we have it, the conviction voting up, like I will need a lot of like user feedback and testing, etc. But like for now, I think it's good to go.
Cool. Well then, yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see if it's good to go. Marco, you want to show us? No.
Yeah, sure. Well, first here I'm sharing the bonding curve screen where we added a couple of modifications. And just before we dive into the example that Mitch did down below, I'm going to share that as well. Just to clarify, Mitch, when I was adding these like green and red like hover states, I just quickly pasted them. It was during the call that I had with Griff, and it was just like a first iteration, and it wasn't meant to be the real thing that reflects the, like when you hover over it, it also shows the table row and stuff like that. So just wanted to clarify that, and thanks a lot for actually doing that revision. So down below here, Mitch actually did that. So here we got like when user hovers over either a row or one area on the chart, it shows like either green if it was a buy or red if it was a sell. So in this case, we could also, as you Mitch pointed out, we could probably have like two sections here also highlighted at the same time. And
if you run the prototype, it all works.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you just run it from the top one there. So ABC4.
But
config
the problem is, you see the but okay. I need to get here first. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get here, but let's see.
If you just highlight it, usually it'll run the prototype from the frame you selected.
I did. Let's see. Okay,
everything's. So the problem with the hover that I was going to comment right away is because you can have two interactions in the same space on the curve. Hovering might not work intuitively. You would have to actually, like, you can't just hover over a space of the curve because you could have multiple transactions in that same space.
You would have two. You could have two pop-ups.
Yeah. Because you can see, for example, like between the second and the third step, if you click on the rows in the table, and then the third one actually takes up the same space. You know, so if you hovered over that space there, you would have actually two transactions that are taking place at different times.
Yeah, I got it. Well, what we could do, like, we could add these like on click here and show more information what happens on each of these.
Well, right now all you have to do is hover. If you hover over
right
the green,
now, you added this. Initially we had this one where you click on it and there should be like X icon to close it, but now you can hover it. So basically but I could also hover over like this area. It will turn, I guess, green as well, like this. So if I hover over this area, it will then shift the.
Like for example, Marco, if you hovered over the right portion of the green there, in between that one, that technically that same space there has two different things happening. There's a buy, part of a big buy, and there's also part of that third step that the sell is happening in the same space. So which one shows up? You know.
Yeah, this one is not correct here. Well, I guess both. Do we show both?
Like, what's the intention?
Because, but yeah, we can't. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I
don't know if anyone else has any ideas or if this makes sense or.
I mean, all I can say is I love the integral, like, projection there. This is really nice. I just love that. There's something that always bugs me is that it says 0 on some of these on the x-axis in the corner. Just really gets me because it should say like 400. No, there's another 0. If you go back a couple steps.
Oh, on one of the old frames. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one. See that 0? That should be like 400K or something.
Yeah.
And then I wonder if we should show that other part of the curve or not. Maybe not. It's nice to have it broken, but maybe have a little space there, so it's not right on the x-axis. So you have the dotted line, still like it's like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I mean, I the way that the flow is right now that Mitch made it is the right flow. How you deal with the hovers and stuff, I'm open to having both show up or having
But if there's if you have
neither.
3 steps, like if you had a buy, a sell, a buy, and a sell, then you could have up to 3 or 4 in the same space, and then which tooltip shows up.
I mean, maybe we force people to have to click through it, have multiple ways of either selecting the row or there being a very obvious arrow that shows the steps, or maybe a walking path, right?
Yeah.
Step 1, step 2, step 3. There could be some sort of something to make sure that they know they're hopping steps.
I think just a way making it obvious that they need to click on the rows. That's the main thing I find. It's not obvious that you need to click on them.
Well, initially you shouldn't be able to click on them. It's an interaction we added later on.
Yeah, just because you can hover on them, but it wouldn't save state when you hover.
Yeah, and also, if you hover over an area above or click on a buy or sell, initially, it was like that. Like when you click on one of these, it will highlight the row. It wasn't intended to click on a row that does something, but just highlights the area or something that.
Yeah.
So now later on,
the problem is the dot is not the row. The dot is the line. The row is the line between 2 dots. The dot is actually 2 of the rows.
Yeah. So the actual step is the space in between the dots.
Yeah.
Because the transaction takes you from one dot to the next. So you're talking about a transaction where there's a first price and a second price.
Yeah.
And then from that second price, you have the next transaction. And so that dot is the first transaction and is the first price of a transaction and the last price of a transaction. So it's like a
amount in, amount out. Got it. Yeah, and then later on, Mitch, you added this interaction where you click on a row and it does something. I would still focus on actual clicking on something on the chart here, on those.
If you could,
and then highlighting the row.
Yeah, if you could think of a smarter way, I couldn't figure it out in the prototype, because as soon as you hover away from the row, it would reset to the old frame. So if there's a way that they could hover over a row.
Well, don't worry. So that's the limitation of Figma. We could probably spend more time on that to kind of recreate those interactions in Figma. But we're probably going to end up with a bunch of screens duplicated just to illustrate it. It's going to be super complex. And then if we want to change something just a little bit, it's then all over again, changing on all these screens. Now imagine for just that interaction, we're probably going to have, double this amount of screens. I can look into it. I can maybe spend a little bit more time to kind of have this hover effect here. But it's kind of going to be hard coded kind of way, and but I'll see what I can do here. It's just a little bit tricky and also just to clarify, just to clarify. So in the intention of the prototype is to really convey the best possible how this is going to be working. But we also are telling users who are testing this that this is a static design and it does not 100% work. It doesn't work like coded version. So they should expect those things, but not everything is actually working. So yeah, like we can't really have this like one-on-one as a like live website, you know.
Yeah. The main thing just to say is that having a hover state on the graph itself won't work because we can have multiple steps happening in the same part.
Yeah, and how can we have like a here? Why isn't this buy over here? This sell over here?
Because
the cell
moving
brings
backwards.
it down the chart.
Yeah.
So the chart is the price, right? And the price is up. So number go up on the y-axis, but when you sell, number go down on the y-axis. So like you end up moving back down the line.
Yeah.
And so you have this overlap.
Because when people sell, the reserve balance goes down, but so does the price. So it's actually moving backwards along the curve that we've defined.
I don't think anyone's going to sell TEC tokens ever. But in case, we might. We want to visualize it just for fun.
I wonder if,
oh,
sorry.
Anyone else? Yeah, go ahead.
I wonder if you could, instead of that hover effect underneath the line, you could just change the color of the section of the line. So for the section with the both buy and sell, just have two lines on top of each other in different colors. And at the same time, every time someone hovers over that part of the graph, it highlights the part of the table as well. And both are interactable, if that makes sense. So where there's buy and sell, the line between the two dots will just, there's going to be two lines, red and green. And then if someone clicks on that, it number 2 and 3 lights up. And then you can make number 2 and 3 light up by hovering over that line or that area of the graph. But you could also just click on the table and it makes the lines show up between the two dots there.
You mean like
this?
I mean
like the neon yellow line, that's going to be replaced by like by the red and green. So
like what we had here, something Mitch, you did something over here with the greenish thing here.
Yeah. So when that's hovered over, step 1 is also highlighted, and both can be interacted with, if that makes sense. So you'll just have two lines.
So this could be an example.
Step 2 and 3.
Yeah, I had another idea where we just had just like you're saying, Nick, but then having like the green line over top and then a red line underneath. But it's still like, what if they overlap, and how do we accurately show the actual distance that it's moving on the curve?
Well, I don't mean like next to each other, like what's on the screen right now. I mean like the red would be underneath the green, and then maybe you can have it can be like there can be arrows to show like direction maybe as well. Yeah.
There was some stuff like that, and then Pedro had some concerns if that was technically possible with the packages that they were trying to work with.
That's the blocker is the libraries that we're using don't necessarily allow us to just put lines anywhere on the graph. It's much easier to fill a space under the graph just with the front end code.
Yeah. But one thing that made me think of while you were talking about that there was Marco had something there with horizontal lines that would actually like cut them up. So like maybe if you had any steps that were overlapping, like showed up horizontally underneath or over top.
Like this?
Yeah, like that or something, if there's a step that's taking up the same space.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it yet. Need to think about it.
That might confuse people, though, and they might think it affects the token price or but it might be confusing. But I wonder if you could just have two lines on the graph when it's time for coding, and have the other line invisible except for when you hover over steps with the overlap.
What about a brown? Like it's green, but then when it goes back, it's brown. Would that be too bad?
Yeah, I mean, for buy it's green, for sell it's red, and then there's no any other color, I guess.
Yeah, but it's
Like
like
at least not.
it's like going back. If you put green into red, the color should be something like brown.
But we can't. Yeah. Yeah. But the problem is that we shouldn't have them overlapping. Like they should be clearly distinguishable, right? So, and especially like for hovering, if we want to get the tooltips, like we can't be showing two. We shouldn't be showing two at once, right? Because then it'll just like get overwhelming.
Yeah.
I'm sold on my thing of having like the rows being interactable and like
Yeah. So So if the rows, okay, rows. We need a table. We need to show that in the table. Rows do not maybe specifically need to be interactable in that way, but we could maybe have a selector. Well, actually, yeah, they could be
Yeah.
clickable.
I like the rows clickable, but I also agree with Marco that it's nice to have some people clicking on the chart. I mean, what if we just had every time there was a step, there was a big 1, a big 2, a big 3, a big 4, big 5, and they can just click in, that just pops up over it, and it also acts as a way to select the rows.
So
or something similar way to select the steps.
Having numbers corresponding to the step, like kind of hover over where they are in the curve.
Yeah, or even not even over the curve, just for every step, you know, it's like maybe it's in between, maybe it's on the chart below the line, or maybe it's in between the chart and the graphs, but like very big 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah,
5.
you could have
and maybe step 5, maybe step 4 takes you way over here, but step 5 takes you way over here, you know, but it's still in a chronological order.
You could have the same thing that you talk about, like you could have like the numbers go over top if they're a buy and below if they're a sell, and they would be like roughly in the middle of where the transaction takes place, and then you just click on the number and it shows the.
I think showing people the chronological steps, like, oh, first this happened, second that happened, third that happened. I mean, you could bring them back. I don't know. It could happen. It seems like the numbers will just conflict with each other, though, you know?
Yeah.
But, I feel like just letting people walk through the steps. And then we can get the pop-ups still, because I really think that box that shows people price in, price out, and that is like really important.
All right, looks like Marco's doing some wizardry.
Yeah, I mean,
I see where you're going. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, we could have something like this.
And then they could like use their arrow keys or click on it, whatever, and it would just take them through.
Yeah.
They just see, okay. And then they experience the bonding curve.
Assuming, yeah. So that they have a max of 6 and then only 3 would show up, and as they add more, it would have to add more numbers to a maximum of 6.
Is that what we have for the adding steps? So there's a max of 6?
So there's 3 from the market scenario, and then they can add a maximum of 3 more.
Cool. Perfect.
Yeah, it's something maybe like this.
Yeah, I get it. That's cool.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and then maybe there will be something like 4 here. And also we need to, yeah, they can add 3 more, like an example here. So basically they can add 3 more steps, and as soon as they add the step, we should have space here for that. So we can then 5.
And so when you design 4 and 5, it's going to start on the left of the red box there, because that's where they're at, is that third dot on the line. And so then the buy might be completely internal to this red bar, for instance.
Yeah, these steps do not have to be like positioned below each of these areas. They could just be steps.
I like that. Yeah.
They could
absolutely.
just be steps.
I just mean for when you're drawing it, like, it might be good to show them that, like, it actually doesn't have to go past the buy. It can even go within this red line for the next dot. And that will also be a good explainer to the devs for, like, how to design this. That's like there's a red one that's completely within a green one, and then there's a green one completely within a red box.
Mm. All right. Oops. Yeah, maybe we can do something like this. Oh my God, what's happening? Okay.
Is there any other aspects of the design that we might want to cover?
I noticed Marco added in the functionality on the prototype for the conviction growth. And I think we talked about it on Sunday. It looks pretty good. I don't know, apart from that, I think it's looking all right.
Oh yeah, that looks great.
Yeah, and then the table will be here, and this shouldn't be fixed because this one's quite tall or high.
Yep.
So this
Do you want to show off? Do you want to show off conviction voting really quick? We have such an audience.
Yeah, hold on a second. Conviction voting. So the conviction growth, this one. Mitchell, do you think of this one or? Yeah, this one.
Yeah, I think I might have shown it off on Sunday, but if you want to go ahead.
Did we already review this? Or?
Well, I don't think Nick or Suga or Tonga or Zepti or Chewy or Bradley, I don't think they've seen this.
All right, so this is there a prototype? Hold on a second. Requesting funds. Oh, there is. Great. Cool. So yeah, basically, what can we click on here? Oh, we can click on minimum conviction. Yeah, but this one is missing. This one is missing. Oh, it's not. It's here. Cool. Conviction growth. So basically, you can preview this chart here. You can you have a slider, and then you can adjust it. So instead of like having two charts here, we kind of put it in a model, and then like on this one, you can adjust the time frame for this chart here, and below we have the standard table that we show on all other modules. But let me check one more thing here. I think this one is missing from this page here. So here, there you go.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this works on the actual app, because it'll be cool to see like changing this graph, changing these variables and seeing this graph change. It'll be really interesting to see how much it changes.
And Griff, you threw in a new table there with like the different scenarios. Does that need to be fine-tuned, or how much thought did you go into it?
I think I put some thought into it. Let me see.
Because you just pasted and be like, it should be like this, and then I just kind of just went, okay.
Requested amount and common pool. Yeah.
And then should that last row change depending on the time frame? Like this one, I want to use for that exact chart. I want to use for when people are submitting GitHub issues.
Yeah, I think it should change based off of the time frame. So tokens need to pass in 1 week instead of 2 weeks when 7 days is selected.
But 2 weeks is going to be the standard for the GitHub issue template.
I think so. I think it's a good standard.
Okay. So I guess we need to tell the developers that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I need to
that scenario one should be. That scenario one should be 100K for amount in common pool.
Okay, well, just if you want to leave some comments, Griff, I can.
Yeah, I can leave a comment. It would definitely be good to get user feedback on if this table makes much sense, because it might be a little dense. And yeah.
Marco, I'm cringing at that. Highlight it. Is that Norwegian?
No. Yeah, that doesn't matter. I will know what it is.
It's alright. It's cool, man. It's cool.
Should I type in Croatian?
What's that?
Should I type in Croatian here?
Yeah, it's cool. I got Google Translate. Oh no! Look at that.
Oh no!
Just trolling.
All right, so I need to add just these notes here, and then this over here.
Okay, well, there's only 5 minutes left. I want to give space for everyone to just give closing thoughts on the design overview. I thought it looked really nice. I really hope that I can find time to make some comments in this conviction voting stuff, maybe in some of the soft gov and comms calls today. I'll be able to kind of hack in it. But it looks really good. Like I guess it's basically done, and all we need now is that the last summary page is done, right? Is there any?
Yeah, it's here. It's here.
Yeah, so like all the pieces are there. It's just about commenting and tweaking, right? So that's super cool.
We showed the graphs here. Once again, you can submit your proposal. Prior to that, you can also do the advanced settings. We kind of give you a warning, you're gonna be doing some changes, but you should do them only if you absolutely know what you're doing. So please don't if you don't know. And then summary here with just basic inputs. You can without any graphs, anything visually represented, just the numbers. You want to double check one more time. You give your submission a title. Describe your strategy. You can submit your proposal. So yeah, that's basically it. Everything here except making changes to the bonding curve. And I think that's it. Yeah.
It looks beautiful. I'll pass it to Nick for final thoughts. Sorry, Nick. Put you on the spot.
Yeah, it looks cool. It was cool to see also how Marco works. Just like seeing how other designers work in general. I'll have to look at every single screen, I guess, in detail to give any valuable feedback other than what I've already said. Sorry.
Thanks a lot for the feedback and suggestions.
Yeah. I'll pass it to Bradley, and Bradley, feel free to pass it on.
All right. I'm mostly here for context. Looks really cool. Marco, I love your warning icon. Never seen that exactly, but it's awesome. And I'll pass it to Chewy.
Thanks, Bradley. My connection got pretty bad, like halfway through the call, so I missed some of this stuff. But yeah, it's just an incredible amount of work, and just the attention that goes into detail really shows up. So congratulations, Marco, and to the whole team. It's a beautiful work. I'll pass it to Septi.
Thanks, Chewy. Yeah, I think that the designs are like super cool. I'm bad giving feedback on the designs because I'm very bad, like I was the kid on the school, all one color, But I feel like as a user, when you see it, it's good. And what I really like about is like it's a feeling, but I feel like with all these forum posts and the dashboard, I feel it's going to be very easy to learn the process and propose parameters, and yeah, now that's the goal. But I feel you guys are doing it, so yeah, congratulations. And I'll pass it to Lauren.
Yeah, I think it's looking really good. I think it's super exciting that we're getting really close to being done with all of this, and yeah, just looking forward to the next couple of weeks of like incorporating the rest of the feedback. I'll pass it to Katie.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, I echo what everybody's saying. It's amazing. It's very impressive, and I'm gonna give it a go, play around with it, and get some feedback going. So thanks a lot for all your hard work. Where am I going with this? Back to Griff.
Yeah. Oh, Chewy's gone. Mitch, did you have anything?
Yeah.
No, I've talked enough during this call, so I'll give it back to you, Griff.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys. Great call and really fun. Again, favorite call of the week. This is the best. And we'll see you guys. There's SoftGov and comms coming up. So see you guys there.